Welcome to the Ranger's Respite. I'm Philip. Today we're looking at another Virginia whiskey because we are in the middle of the first round of the Virginia Whiskey Tournament. Up in today's video, Murlarkey Heritage. But before we get into the whiskey, I love making these videos. I like doing reviews. I like talking about Virginia whiskey. If you like me doing that, I would really appreciate your support. I've got an Etsy shop. Link is in the description down below. I'm selling hand-turned wooden bowls. This one is Sycamore. And hand-turned pens. This one is Cocobolo. It's a nice fancy rollerball pen. And when you purchase an item from me, be it a small bowl, a pen, a medium bowl, I'm going to be listing some of those within the next couple of days. You are making it so that I can continue to make these videos. And I would really appreciate your support. With that out of the way, let's get into Heritage. This is made from a mash bill of corn, rye, and barley grown in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Finished in a wine cask. I'm not sure what the aging is prior to that, but my guess would be in a new charred oak barrel. It's meant to sort of embody the tradition of the Murray's and Larkin's Irish heritage, and sort of pay homage to Irish whiskey. On the nose, the wine doesn't really come through very strongly. There's just a hint of like red fruit, like the almost like the grape flavored wine gums, like just the like purple ones, you know. Not all of them taste like grapes or wine to me, just saying. Pretty aggressive on the nose, alcohol wise. Got some of that nice grain shininess, the sweet mellow corn, the rounded barley, and there's just a hint of spice from the rye in here. Not much that I can pin down as being oak influenced, to be honest. There's a little bit of like char note, but not a whole lot. On the palate, the wine comes out a little bit more. See, I can see where they're aiming for. Sort of aiming for the Irish pot still sort of effect. And I can taste it. Like, I can taste that that's where they're going. It's a bit too heavy. There's a richness of grain here. Sort of a lot of the like darker grain notes, some pepperiness, some like heavy dense bread, and like grilled corn. It's pretty good stuff, don't get me wrong. In fact, I think that it is very good whiskey. I don't think it really hits the mark that they were aiming for in being an Irish style whiskey. It is very clearly an American whiskey. It doesn't fall neatly into the box of bourbon or rye, but it's got those elements that are uniquely American that, you know, you put a Scottish blend, a bourbon, this, and an Irish whiskey in a lineup and tell you which is which. I could pick out the Scotch, the Irish, the bourbon, and this. I may not be able to name what they are, but I'd be able to tell them apart. And this, if I didn't know that it was in the lineup, I would be able to tell you that it's an American whiskey just based on the mouthfeel, the flavor. But I'm not sure I could tell you what category it falls into. Coming back to the nose, there's like a Smarties sort of scent. I don't know where that comes from because that's not something that I found on the palate. Well, there it is a little bit. Wonderful stuff. Tastes fantastic. That brings me to the 3 questions that I always ask, because I don't give numeric scores, because I feel like, oh yeah, 3 out of 7 or 5 out of 9 doesn't really tell you a whole lot. But saying, do I like it? Yes, I do. I think that it is a wonderful example of what Virginia distilling can be, though maybe not exactly what the distillers were aiming for. Do I think that it's a good value? Now, I bought this on sale. I know that I know that I paid about $39.99 for it a couple years ago. The price currently is $49.99 for 750, and I think that's a reasonable price. There are a lot of whiskeys that aren't nearly as unique and don't have as distinct a character to them for a lot less. And I always value distinction or distinctiveness and quality over, yes, this is a good example of this narrow category. I think that this is a good value at $50. I just do. I think that it could stand a little bit more time in its primary aging vessels before the wine finish, and maybe a little bit more time in the wine barrels to change it. But that isn't really going to help them achieve the sort of Irish pot still flavor profile that they're going for. So I don't think that they will. Do I recommend it? Yeah, absolutely. Those of you who are familiar with my previous reviews will know that I am not terribly fond of the other Murlarkey bottle that I have on hand. And know that I had a great deal of difficulty reviewing it as a result. This is an entirely different story. I really like this stuff. I just don't think that it quite achieves what they were aiming for. And there's nothing wrong with that. Swinging and missing, and getting, a ground rules triple when you're aiming for a home run is still a success. And honestly, I think this is a really solid knock it out of the park example of what they are capable of in terms of distilling. That said, their birthright bourbon is another step up from this in terms of quality. And if I have extra money in the budget after I've collected a whiskey from every Virginia distillery that produces whiskey, I may very well go back and buy a bottle of the Birthright bourbon. In fact, I would like to. I got to try it at a Spirits Expo, and I think that it was probably one of the best bourbons I had that day. But that's not what we're here to talk about. So, quick recap. Do I like it? Absolutely. Do I think it's a good value? Yes. Do I recommend it? Yeah. So that gives it 3 winning marks as far as I'm concerned. That brings us to, why am I reviewing Murlarkey Spirit? Virginia Whiskey Tournament. They are in bout 7. Links to vote will be in the description down below. Instagram, Twitter, put your votes in. I count the votes on Friday. And may your favorite distiller win. There are a lot of really good ones in this bout. If you are looking for a community to talk about whiskey and other hobbies and other spirits, the Whiskey Lodge Discord server is a great place to go. I'm a moderator there. It's public access server. You can hop in, talk about your hobbies. We've got a pretty chill vibe. A lot of great people. If you're new to spirits, we're a great place to start because we love giving recommendations and talking about, how to get started in really appreciating fine spirits. With all that said, it's been great seeing you. Stay happy, stay geeks, sláinte.